Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I wanted to go through some of the major changes to the meta of Apex Legends following the massive Lost Treasures update, which saw more character changes than I think I've ever seen before in Apex Legends. It makes it feel like almost a completely new season with how many shifts there were relating to certain characters and certain ones that are now really playable and competitive. If you don't know me, I am a sort of platinum level player, top end of platinum, really trying to push to get into the sort of lower end of diamond is my next big step. And I've been trying to use some of these new tactics to push on into diamond. They've been working quite well so far. So I wanted to go through what I believe is now probably the strongest, most fun and newest way to play Apex Legends, because up until now the meta's always been very defensive. Watson's, Caustics, and then having Pathfinder and Wraith to sort of do rotations to new buildings, new spots. So I think that's been the way really ever since Caustic got buffed pretty insanely at the start of Season 5, and how Watson's always been since her introduction. But this season has changed things now. So initially at the start of Season 5, Caustic really did enter the meta. He was very strong because you don't get affected by his gas movements when for teammates, which is just so important, having a Caustic player like that. But I think they've done a really great balancing act in the Lost Treasures update, because now those barrels, when they first inflate, you have the opportunity to shoot them down, which makes him more of a positional legend and not one that can use the traps like infinite grenades, which is, I think, a very positive change for the game. And an interesting other change mainly relates to Watson's pylons, which make her slightly less meta now, because she can have up to 3, which is good, but the two big problems with it now are that it's not infinite anymore. Her pylon used to stay up infinitely until it was either destroyed or another one was placed, and now it only lasts 90 seconds, and you can use ultimate accelerants to build them up, sure, and it's good that you can store more. Maybe I think that if this is going to be the way going forward, then maybe she either needs to be able to stack 3 ultimate accelerants, because I just think it's in quite a weird place at the moment, really. And the big hitter is that Crypto's drone now destroys the pylon, which is massive for the game. So I think that the defensive style is now not completely destroyed, because I've had some amazing games featuring Watson defenses, but I think that Crypto is now a perfect counter to Watson and Caustic. And yes, the Watson can place down another gen very quickly, but if Crypto is equally stacking up an ultimate accelerants, it's very easy to push. And the reason why it is now very easy to push teams is because of Revenant's ultimate now having no range. And I'm a Revenant main and I love this news. This was great for me. I think it's a great change. It makes him even more playable. It's not something I realized I needed until we got it, and it just pushes the character in a whole new direction. I honestly think he's probably in the top 5 legends now, and he's my favourite to play. Always has been since his release, because I only really started playing Apex in Season 4, so I straight away unlocked him as my first legend. I've been playing him since when he was really weak at the start. He was my favourite character, so watching him go from strength to strength has actually been really nice. He was a lot more awkward and very situational when he first came out, but now he's usable all the time, which is great. And so pairing a Crypto ultimate with a Revenant ultimate is really strong, because you can use that Crypto ultimate to take down a Watson pylon, take down all the fences, take down the Caustic traps, and then use the Revenant ult to push. So if they do try and put another pylon up or a couple more fences up and try and get some gas traps in there, then you can actually stop that, because you can go in, push with the ultimate. If it works, you take down the team. If it doesn't, you get reset and you can go again. Another thing is it's simply a numbers thing. A Crypto ultimate, if there's 3 people in there with purple shields, let's say both teams fighting have purple shields, the team defending have purple shields and you have purple shields, your team. If you Crypto ult them, that instantly takes away 150 shields from them as a team of 3. And if you Revenant ultimate, you get effectively an extra free 50 health each, meaning you gain 150 health if you then once you reset back to the totem, you immediately challenge again. And because of that, you're effectively going into that gunfight 300 HP more positive than the other team, regardless of skill level. And my gun skill is not impeccable in Apex. I'm very much used to playing Halo. If you've seen the old videos on this channel, you'll know that I'm much more used to Halo, which is, hit scan weapons, no recoil. So even, after, the few months I've been playing, I'm still getting used to the guns. But having this really does help me because it gives you that extra boost. It does mean you have to stock up on ultimate accelerants because the ultimate combo is very important for these characters. And the third character I think fits this meta quite nicely is Wraith still. The side grade that she got in this update was, I believe, quite strong, and you can use her portal to make sure that the crypto is not lost from the fight, because sometimes cryptos can fall back and not be involved in a fight. Whereas you can use the Wraith portal to bring the crypto closer. You can also use it for a death totem combo. So if you Wraith portal into a situation where you're attacking and then put down the totem, then you can use the totem, take the portal, and you're already in their faces, and your death totem clock hasn't even started really counting, and you're already in the fight. And it means the crypto can get into the fight good as well and quick, because that is sometimes a problem with them sort of lagging behind the team because they're away for a little bit of the fight. Does mean you have to stack up on those ultimate accelerants. The Wraith portal one isn't as big of a problem because that's very situational, but for the crypto and Revenant ultimate, it's good to probably stack 2 in your inventory. I think crypto would honestly be a perfectly viable ranked legend all the time if he could stack maybe 2 ultimate accelerants like Wattson can. But I think Wattson having that quite unique to her is nice, so it keeps her quite playable. And by all means, this doesn't mean the Wattson caustic defensive look is gone, but I do think that heading into those final circles, you can play more aggressive now. And I like this change. The reason I like it is because even though I haven't been playing long, watching the meta has been fun, but it's also been very, defensive the whole way through, and it's not become fully stale for me, but it's can be quite similar when the same characters are always getting to the final circle. So I'm really glad that they've upgraded other characters to make them playable, and this is a new way that I think is really strong to play this game. It's more aggressive, it's more fun, you get in more gunfights, and I think that's how I'm going to improve my gun skill, because playing a defensive game, you don't always get into fights, and you can lose some of that because you're not actually constantly playing the game, you're always playing for position. And I think this is a good change also because it means if a team is in a good position, you can challenge them for it, because up until now it's been really difficult to challenge Wattsons and Caustics, but now you can really push them for their ground, and it does mean you're on the move a lot more, but I think Apex is fun when you're always on the move. So obviously if I am paired on a team with a Wattson, I will change my game style accordingly. But I think that this is probably the new strongest combo to pull off well in ranked. And I know TSM, if you've, I imagine TSM, if you've watched their gameplay, they've been running this combo in tournaments, and it's been very effective. I'd sort of been wanting to run it for a while anyway, this combo, and watching their gameplay just sort of reaffirmed to me that this is the way to go in terms of the new meta, and it's fun. It's just enjoyable, as I said before, because it's new, it's not so defensive, and it's very free-flowing. You get back into gunfights straight away, and for someone like me who's still getting fairly used to the game and the mechanics and where all the rings finish, it's quite nice to have the totem as a reset if you're losing a gunfight. It's not quite a get out of jail free card because they can destroy your totem, so being tactical with where you place the totem and where your crypto is very important. That's almost the two most important pieces of this puzzle, is protecting the crypto whilst they're droning and protecting the totem, because it's very easy for those things to be destroyed. It doesn't take many shots at all to destroy a death totem, and it's happened to me a few times playing in the last few days, because since the buff, teams are prioritizing taking down death totems because they know how strong the ultimate is, and focusing a death totem, it pops the team straight back into their regular shields, and they are vulnerable. So because I've gone on an attack and then the ultimate gets destroyed. Now you're out in the open with no protection. So it's you have to watch it out, which is why I've actually enjoyed playing some games as a Wattson Revenant combo in sort of my lower level platinum gaming, because I can put my death totem down in a room that's being Wattsoned off and go from there, and it's a lot more safe because you've got someone protecting the totem with fences. Because a lot of teams, what they'll also do is camp on your totem. So if you go running off because of the new range, you will run into a gunfight because you can go so far now. But a team will see your totem and maybe sit on it and wait for you to reset back to it. And the moment you reset back, you've come back with half your health but all your shields, and then they can rinse you if it's a full team. So do watch out for that. It's not a foolproof tactic, but you get 300 extra health on any team you push if it's a 1-to-1 team push, which is incredibly useful. And if it's multiple teams, you will be EMPing multiple people, which only actually puts your odds up further. Which is just great. It requires a lot of communication. This is not something to play if you aren't synergized with your team. You have to play this as a 3 who know each other's playstyles, because it's an awkward new meta. People are still getting used to playing this style, but it's really rewarding. You've just got to be communicating. If you're not communicating with a team, I actually don't think this is a super strong new meta. I would still say Wattson's a lot stronger if there's not audio communication. But if you're all on a microphone, you play with each other regularly, give this a try, this new meta, because you'll really enjoy it, I think. Especially if you've got someone who's more of a support, place them as the Crypto, the Revenant as well, and then use the Wraith to get you to rotate to new locations. And it should be a really, really fun new meta. I think even all the characters in Apex Legends at the moment are now balanced, which is amazing. I think all of them are good, and not all of them are in a perfect spot, I don't think, but I think they're all good characters. They're all viable to play. There's not one time I've gone into a ranked match now in Platinum and thought I'm at a disadvantage because I'm with this certain character. Octane's probably still not viable for ranked as much, neither is Mirage, but at Platinum level I think they're alright. I think once you push into Diamond, you really do get punished for playing those characters. Even so with Bangalore a little bit now, just because she's had no updates really since the start. It would be really nice to see an ultimate rework for Bangalore, only because it's I believe quite a weak ultimate, but that is a topic for another video. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think that I'm wrong? Do you think maybe there's a different meta that is cropping up at the moment that you've been playing with your team and getting great success with? Maybe it's one of the other character boosts or side grades. Maybe it's Lifeline Revenant, because if you can put down the dock on your totem and then get your health back so that you can push another fight with more health. Maybe that's a new meta that I haven't really thought of, because Lifeline's in a pretty great spot at the minute as well. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll tune in with you in the next video.